Bonjour, and welcome to a destination so rich in art, architecture, romance, and revolution. It practically invented the word culture. This is France. From the glittering lights of Paris to the lavender fields of Provence, the wine-soaked valleys of Bordeaux to the cliffside drama of Mont Saint-Michel. France isn't just a country you visit. It's a country you feel, taste, breathe, and quite possibly never want to leave. That's why here at Check-In, Chill Out, we're going to be upfront with you. France is not a 7-day trip, not if you want to experience her properly. We highly recommend planning 10 to 14 days, minimum, to unlock the full magic of this destination. Because here, the adventure isn't just the Eiffel Tower. It's a quiet vineyard, a castle by a river, a cobbled village you didn't know you needed. And yes, you'll get a sample itinerary later in this episode. But trust us, you'll want more than just a taste. But first, let's see how much you already know. Let's kick things off with your first check-in challenge. The question is, which French landmark gets more visitors per year? Is it A, the Eiffel Tower, or B, Disneyland Paris? Think you know the answer? Stick around for the reveal. And don't worry, both are worth a stop. Visa and entry requirements. What you need to know before you go. France is part of the Schengen zone, which includes 27 European countries with a shared visa policy, and that makes it pretty straightforward for many international travelers. Let's break it down by region. United States and Canada. Citizens of the US and Canada can enter France visa-free for up to 90 days within a 180-day period for tourism, business, or family visits. No need to apply in advance. Just make sure your passport is valid for at least 3 months beyond your planned departure date, although 6 months validity is safer. Agent tip. From 2025, US and Canadian travelers will need to register with ETIAS, the European Travel Information and Authorization System, before travelling. It's quick, cheap, and mostly a formality. But don't skip it. The United Kingdom. Post-Brexit, UK citizens are still allowed to visit France visa-free for up to 90 days in a 180-day period, just like Americans and Canadians. However, your passport must be less than 10 years old and valid for at least 3 months beyond your stay. European Union citizens. If you're travelling from another EU country, you're in the easiest category of all. No visa, no passport required, just a valid national ID card. Travel within the Schengen area is seamless for you. Australia. Australian citizens also enjoy visa-free entry for up to 90 days, under the same Schengen rules. Just like the US and Canada, ETIAS will be required from 2025 onward, so keep that on your radar. Asian countries like Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, China, and India. Here's how it breaks down by country. Visa-free for up to 90 days. Citizens of Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, and a few others can travel visa-free. But remember, ETIAS will apply here as well from 2025. A Schengen visa is required for citizens of China, India, Philippines, and Pakistan. Before entering France, you'll need a valid passport, proof of accommodation, a return flight, travel insurance, proof of sufficient funds, and possibly a travel itinerary. Agent tip. Apply at least 3 to 4 weeks in advance. Appointment slots at embassies can be hard to get, especially during peak travel season. South Africa and other African nations. Yes, South Africans do require a Schengen visa to visit France. Here's what you'll need to prepare. A passport valid for at least 3 months after your departure, a Schengen visa application, proof of accommodation, flight itinerary, bank statements or proof of funds. Travel insurance is a must, and a full travel itinerary if available. It's advisable to apply through the TLS Contact Visa Processing Centre or through the French Embassy directly. Important note: visa rules are subject to change, and entry policies can be updated based on diplomatic or global health developments. Always check with your local French embassy or consulate, or visit the official France Visas website for the most current information before you travel. Time zone, arrival in France and getting around. France runs on Central European Time, or CET. That's GMT +1 and GMT +2 during daylight saving time, late March to late October. So if you're flying in from the US, you're looking at a 6 to 9 hour time difference, depending on your departure city. From Australia or parts of Asia, you'll be ahead of France by 6 to 9 hours, so prepare for jet lag either way. South Africa is only 1 hour ahead during European winter. Airport arrival, where you'll likely land. France is extremely well connected, and your arrival airport will depend on your itinerary. Here's what to expect from the major international hubs: Paris Charles de Gaulle, or CDG. This is France's largest and busiest airport, and most long-haul international travellers will land here. It has 3 main terminals, plenty of signage in English, and immigration generally moves quickly. But give yourself at least 30 to 45 minutes to get through formalities. Agent tip: CDG is about 45 to 60 minutes from central Paris by car, but the RER-B train can get you to Gare du Nord in under 40 minutes, and it's way cheaper than a taxi. Nice Côte d'Azur Airport, or NCE. If you're heading to the French Riviera, you'll likely arrive here. It's smaller and more relaxed than Paris airports, and you'll be soaking in Mediterranean vibes within minutes. Lyon Saint-Exupéry Airport, or LYS. Perfect if you're exploring wine country, the Alps, or historic towns like Annecy. It's efficient, modern, and has a direct tram train line into the city. Other notable airports include Marseille, MRS, Toulouse, TLS, and Bordeaux, BOD, all with international connections and great access to their regions. Public transport. It's efficient, affordable, and easy to use. France has one of the best transport systems in the world, and getting around is refreshingly easy, once you know the basics. Cities like Paris, Lyon, Marseille, Toulouse, and Lille have excellent metro and tram networks. In Paris, the metro is fast, frequent, and well marked. Buses are great for short hops or reaching neighbourhoods not covered by rail. In most cities, you can now tap your contactless credit card or smartphone to pay on metros and buses. The Navigo card, in Paris. If you're staying more than 2 to 3 days in Paris, the Navigo Easy or Navigo Weekly Pass is well worth it for unlimited rides. Public transport between cities. Train à grande vitesse. The French high-speed rail network is world-class. You can travel from Paris to Lyon in 2 hours, or from Paris to Nice in under 6 hours. Regional trains, TER. These are slower but cover charming towns and countryside. Use SNCF Connect or trainline.eu to book tickets in advance. Prices are often lower the earlier you book. Agent tip: trains are usually more scenic, comfortable, and less hassle than flying within France, and delays are very rare. If you would like to hire a car in France, this is what you need to know. Do you want the freedom to explore the Loire Valley, Provence, or the Normandy coast on your own terms? Renting a car can be a fantastic idea, but it helps to know the rules. Tourists can drive with their home country license, in English or with a certified translation. Although some rental agencies may require an international driving permit, or IDP, so it's safest to get one before you travel, especially if your license isn't in French or English. Most agencies require drivers to be 21 and older, with at least 1 year of driving experience. A surcharge often applies for drivers under 25 years old. A major credit card in the driver's name is usually required for the deposit. Drive on the right side of the road. Seatbelts are mandatory for all passengers. Speed limits: 130 km per hour on highways, 80 to 90 km per hour on secondary roads. Many highways are tolled. Keep cash or a card handy. Petrol stations are frequent, especially on motorways and near cities. Agent tip: A GPS or offline map app like Maps.me or Google Maps with downloads is your best friend, especially in rural areas with patchy signal. Alright, let's check in on that first quiz. The question was, which French landmark gets more visitors per year? A. Eiffel Tower or B. Disneyland Paris? And the winner is Disneyland Paris. Surprised? You're not alone. While the Eiffel Tower draws in a dazzling 7 million visitors per year, Disneyland Paris sees over 15 million guests annually, making it not only France's most visited attraction, but also the most visited theme park in all of Europe. That's right. The magic of Mickey and the allure of Sleeping Beauty's castle pulls in more foot traffic than the Iron Lady herself. Agent tip: even if you're not travelling with kids, Disneyland Paris is just 40 minutes from central Paris by RER train and makes for a fun, surreal detour on your French adventure. What France is really like outside the postcards. Ah, France. The land of berets, baguettes and the Eiffel Tower, right? Well, not quite. Of course, you'll find your romantic Parisian clichés tucked into narrow Montmartre streets or drifting along the Seine. But once you get beyond the postcard-perfect shots, France reveals a rich and wildly diverse personality that changes with every region. France is a mood, and it changes by the region. Step off the train in Paris, and you're hit with this magnetic blend of chaos and charm. Honking scooters, elegant Parisians, bakeries that smell like heaven, and architecture that looks like it's been designed by poets. But head south to Provence, and it feels like a different country. Think lavender fields, sun-drenched villages, and the slow swirl of rosé in your glass at noon. No judgment from me. Hop over to the French Riviera, and you're living in a real-life perfume ad. All turquoise waters, celebrity yachts, and sunsets over Nice. Move inland to Lyon or Bordeaux, and suddenly you're surrounded by medieval quarters, wine cellars, and proud locals who will swear their region has the real best food in France. And they may be right. And don't even get us started on the Alps, where France feels more like Switzerland, and cheese fondue becomes a way of life. Speaking of food, it's that good. If you're coming to France and not making food one of your top 5 reasons, you're doing it wrong. This is the country that literally invented fine dining, and yet also sells fresh-baked croissants on every corner like it's no big deal. Here's what you'll fall in love with: croissants, pain au chocolat, and buttery pastries that actually crack when you bite into them. Cheese, all the cheese. Over 1,000 varieties, from creamy brie to nose-wrinkling roquefort. Baguettes that are baked fresh daily and carried under arms like fashion accessories. Steak frite, duck confit, and escargot if you're feeling adventurous. Macarons in every pastel hue imaginable, with the kind of texture only a Parisian patisserie can master, and wine that flows like tap water, often cheaper than soda. Agent tip: you don't need to eat in Michelin star restaurants. Some of the best meals are found in local brasseries, street markets, or quiet cafes where the menu is scrawled in chalk. The people and vibe. French locals often get a bad rep for being cold or standoffish. But here's the truth. They're just private by default and warm by invitation. If you start with a polite bonjour and show a bit of effort with the language, you'll be met with genuine smiles, helpful suggestions, and maybe even a few insider travel tips. The pace of life is slower in many parts of France. Meals take longer, conversations stretch, and no one rushes their coffee, because why would you? Safety in France, what you should know. While France is generally safe for tourists, especially in popular areas like Paris, the Côte d'Azur, and the Loire Valley, it's wise to stay alert. Just like you would in any major global destination, pickpocketing can occur in busy places like metro stations, airports, and tourist hotspots. So keep your belongings close and avoid flashing valuables. Demonstrations and strikes occasionally happen, especially in big cities, but they're usually peaceful and well publicized in advance. Rural and small-town France tends to be very calm, and locals are usually helpful to respectful travellers. As always, travel insurance and a little situational awareness go a long way toward keeping your trip smooth and stress-free. France is full of contradictions in the best way. It's proud and passionate. It's ancient and trend-setting. It's elegant and earthy. It's a place where the smallest village bakery can change your life. And the busiest tourist street can surprise you with a moment of magic. And whether you're in the buzzing heart of Paris or a sleepy town in the Dordogne, France isn't just a destination, it's a feeling. What's the weather like, and when should you go? France isn't just large by European standards, it's climatically diverse, which means the best time to go really depends on what you're after. But don't worry. Here's your agent-approved seasonal cheat sheet to help you plan like a pro. Spring, March to May. Picture perfect and pollen-filled. This is one of the best times to visit. The days start warming up, flowers bloom in every garden, and the crowds are still manageable. Paris. Cherry blossoms in the parks, sidewalk cafes reopen. It's the season of strolling, Loire Valley and Provence. Castles and lavender fields come back to life. Average temps, 12 to 18 degrees Celsius, or 54 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Agent tip. Bring layers. The mornings are crisp, but afternoons can be surprisingly warm. Summer, June to August. Busy, buzzy, and bright. France is in full swing, especially in July and August. It's also when most locals go on holiday, so you'll feel the buzz in tourist spots, and the quiet in some cities, coastal France like Nice, Cannes and Biarritz. Beach season. Think turquoise seas and rosé at lunch. Paris. Still beautiful, but a little emptier as locals escape the heat. French Alps. Surprisingly stunning in summer. Think hiking, lakes and wildflowers. Average temps. 25 to 35 degrees Celsius, or 77 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Agent tip. Book early because accommodation fills up fast, especially along the Riviera. Autumn, September to November. Golden, delicious, and dreamy. Underrated and absolutely magical. The crowds thin, the air cools, and the vineyards turn golden. Wine regions like Bordeaux, Burgundy, Alsace. Harvest season. Great wine festivals and tastings. Paris. Still alive with art shows, fashion events, and crisp weather strolls. Average temps, 10 to 20 degrees Celsius, or 50 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Agent tip. Autumn is ideal for foodies. The seasonal produce is divine. Think mushrooms, chestnuts, and truffles. Winter, December to February. Cozy, cultural, and Christmassy. If you don't mind the cold, France in winter is a vibe, especially if you want fewer tourists and more culture. Paris, romantic lights, museums without lines, and cozy cafes. Strasbourg and Alsace, the best Christmas markets in Europe. No debate. French Alps, ski season. The snow is pristine and the fondue is piping hot. Average temps, 0 to 8 degrees Celsius, or 32 to 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Agent tip. If you want a classic winter wonderland with French flair, head to Chamonix or Annecy. Keep in mind that August can be tricky. Many locals take off for holiday, so small shops and restaurants in cities, especially Paris, might close for a few weeks. Also, major tourist spots can feel crowded and hot. Agent tip. If you must go in August, aim for coastal or countryside escapes, where the vibe is relaxed and full of vacation energy. So, when should you go? For first-timers and general sightseeing, May, June or September. For romantic escapes and food lovers, April, October or early December. For ski trips, January through March. And for sun seekers, July and August, but book well in advance. France wears a different outfit each season, and it always looks good. Whether you're chasing blossoms, beaches, or Bordeaux, there's always a perfect moment waiting just for you. Time for your second check-in challenge. The question is, Which of these famous French wines is produced only in a specific region using traditional méthode champenoise? Is it A. Bordeaux, B. Beaujolais, C. Champagne, or D. Chablis? Stick around to the end of this video for the answer, and maybe even a reason to raise a glass. What to actually do in France? There's a reason France consistently ranks at the very top of global travel wish lists. It's not just one destination, it's 100 experiences stitched together by charm, history, and that unmistakable je ne sais quoi. From world-famous icons to countryside secrets, the possibilities here are endless. That said, France is big, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed by choice. So we've handpicked some of the absolute best regions and excursions to help you craft a trip that's rich, balanced, and unforgettable. Whether it's sipping rosé in Provence, storming the beaches of Normandy, in spirit, or chasing magic at Disneyland Paris, this list is your perfect jumping-off point. Paris and nearby excursions like Versailles and Disneyland. Paris is more than a bucket list city. It's a full-on cultural sprint. Start your day with the Eiffel Tower's panoramic vistas, dive into art at the Louvre Museum, stroll through Montmartre's historic streets, and end with a chocolate-filled macaron break in a hidden cafe. Then, just outside the city, lies the regal Palace of Versailles. Opulence embodied in its hall of mirrors, vast gardens, and royal legacy. And for a fun twist, the magical thrills of Disneyland Paris await. It's less serious sightseeing, and more childhood dream meets grown-up whimsy. Agent tip: base yourself in Paris for at least 3 nights. Use one day to head out to Versailles, and another day for Disneyland if your inner child, or actual children, demand it. Normandy. Normandy blends sweeping coastal drama with deep history. Walk the sands of the D-Day landing beaches, explore the medieval abbey island of Mont Saint-Michel, and gaze out at the chalky cliffs of Étretat, where nature meets art. Here you'll feel the weight of history and the healing power of ancient landscapes. Agent tip: drive or take a guided tour from Paris, morning departure and return in the evening. Bonus tip: linger in the seaside town of Honfleur for lunch. The Loire Valley. Known as the Garden of France, the Loire Valley is a tapestry of river meander, vineyard rose, and fairy tale chateaux like the splendid Château de Chenonceau. It's relaxed, elegant, and ideal for slow travel. Bike rides, wine tastings, and castle hunts. Agent tip: best to stay overnight in the region if you can. One day just skims the surface. The French Riviera, Côte d'Azur. The world knows the French Riviera for its sun-kissed beaches, celebrity yachts, and café terraces. Stay in Nice or Cannes, wander the old town lanes, sip a rosé at sunset on the Promenade des Anglais, and feel the energy of summer luxury. Agent tip: visit early or late in the season for better value and fewer crowds. Provence. The region of Provence is the French countryside that feels like a painting. Lavender fields in June and July, hilltop villages, olive groves, and slow lunches under shade. Towns like Avignon and the Loire Valley radiate a laid-back elegance. Agent tip: Provence is ideal for 2 to 3 nights. Rent a car to explore smaller villages. Lyon and the wine regions. Start in the food capital, Lyon, winding old town streets, Michelin-starred bouchons, and a truly French urban beat. Then branch out into the wine regions, the world-famous visions of vines in Bordeaux, and the sparkling luxury of the Champagne region. Sip, stroll, and soak in the terroir. Agent tip: stay 1 night in Lyon, then take half-day wine tours or full-day winery visits. The perfect 10 to 14-day travel flow through France. If you've been wondering how to actually structure a trip through France without missing the essentials, this is your travel agent-inspired dream route. Whether you're flying into Paris or starting with sunshine on the Riviera, this itinerary gives you France's greatest hits, deep culture, and perfect pacing. Days 1 to 3. Paris and surrounds. Base yourself in Paris. The highlights for these days will be the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre Museum, Notre Dame, Montmartre, and a Seine River cruise. Excursions, Versailles, half-day or full-day from Paris. Disneyland Paris, optional, 1 full day. Agent tip. Start your trip here if you're flying in from the US, UK, or Asia. Stay central. Arrondissement 1 to 7 gives you proximity to the major landmarks. Day 4. Travel to Normandy, 2.5 to 3 hours by train or car. Base yourself in Bayeux or Caen. The highlights will be the D-Day landing beaches, Mont Saint-Michel, and Honfleur's harbourfront charm. Agent tip. Rent a car for flexibility in this region. Days 5 to 6. The Loire Valley, 2.5 hours from Normandy. Base yourself in Tours or Amboise. The highlights will be Château de Chambord and Château de Chenonceau, local wine tasting. Try a Loire Chenin Blanc. River cycling paths and romantic garden walks. Agent tip. This is your slow down and soak it in moment on the trip. Day 7. Take a train to Lyon, 2 to 3 hours. Base yourself in Lyon. The highlights will be exploring Old Lyon, Vieux Lyon, dining at a traditional bouchon, and strolling Fourvière Hill for panoramic views. Agent tip. Lyon is the food capital of France. Plan your meals like sightseeing. Optional Day 8. Wine region side trip. Your options are Beaujolais for light reds and wine festivals, Burgundy for Pinot Noir and medieval abbeys, or Champagne, Reims or Épinay for the fizziest experience. Agent tip. Book a small group wine tour or hire a driver. You sip. They steer. Days 9 to 11. Provence and lavender fields. 3 hours by train from Lyon. Base yourself in Avignon or Aix-en-Provence. The highlights will be the lavender fields, the Roman ruins in Arles, markets in L'Isle-sur-la-Sorgue, and Pont du Gard Roman Aqueduct. Agent tip. Rent a car to explore the villages and remember to bring your picnic basket. Days 12 to 14. The French Riviera, Côte d'Azur. Base yourself in Nice, with day trips to Cannes, Monaco, Antibes or Èze. The highlights for these days will be a beach day in Nice, sunset at the Promenade des Anglais, the glitz and glamour in Monaco, and coastal hiking in Cap d'Antibes. Agent tip. Skip the car in Nice. Trains connect everything beautifully. Suggested trip variations. If you're tight on time, cut the Loire Valley or wine regions for a faster-paced 10-day trip. If you have even more time, add Alsace for German-French flair or the French Alps for mountain magic. And finally, here's the answer to our second check-in challenge. The question was, which of these famous French wines is produced only in a specific region using traditional méthode champenoise? A. Bordeaux, B. Beaujolais, C. Champagne, or D. Chablis? And the answer is C. Champagne. Only wines from the Champagne region, northeast of Paris, can officially be called Champagne, and they must follow strict methods to earn the name if it's not from Champagne. It's just sparkling wine. Agent tip. Even if you don't drink, the historic champagne houses like Moët and Chandon offer fascinating cellar tours. Final travel tips for France. Language matters. While many French locals in the big cities speak English, learning a few simple phrases in French goes a long way. A friendly bonjour, hello, or merci, thank you, can turn a good interaction into a great one. It's a sign of respect, and it's appreciated. Money tips. France uses the euro. Credit and debit cards are widely accepted, but keep a little cash handy for small cafes, bakeries, or street markets. Tipping isn't mandatory, but rounding up or leaving 5 to 10% for excellent service is customary. Connectivity. EU travellers can roam freely, but if you're coming from outside Europe, consider getting an eSIM or local SIM card. Free Wi-Fi is common, but don't rely on it everywhere, especially in rural towns or on trains. Driving in France, you drive on the right-hand side, and while roads are generally in great condition, Parking in cities can be tricky. Toll roads on the autoroutes can be pricey but save time. A valid driver's license is enough for most visitors, but some non-EU travellers, including South Africans and some Asian countries, may need an international driving permit, so check before you go. Travel insurance is a must. From missed flights to medical emergencies or lost luggage, travel insurance is the safety net you hope you won't need, but will be incredibly grateful for if you do. A trip to France is a dream. Protect it. Book with your local travel agent. Let's be honest, planning a French adventure can be overwhelming. But your local travel agent knows the ins and outs. Best dates to go, hidden gems, updated visa rules, even the quirks of train transfers and museum passes. Booking through a pro saves you time, stress, and often even money. And in a country as layered as France, that's priceless. Final reflections from a travel agent. France is not just a destination. It's a mood, a lifestyle, a love letter to the senses. From sipping espresso beneath the Eiffel Tower, to drifting through lavender fields, from medieval castles in the Loire, to yachts along the Riviera. Every region offers a unique chapter in your French story, and whether you spend 7, 10, or 14 days, you'll leave feeling like you only scratched the surface. This episode showed you that France isn't just Paris. It's Provence, Champagne, Lyon, Normandy, the Côte d'Azur. It's art, food, fashion, and soul. This has been Check-In, Chill Out, where we help you plan less and experience more. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe for more destination deep dives designed like a travel agent's guide. Got a question or tip about traveling to France? Leave it in the comments. We love hearing from our fellow adventurers. Whether you're packing for Paris or dreaming of your next escape, let's check in with everything you need to chill out wherever you land.